sisters, I always love being here. As many of you know, Michigan is my home before I started working at WRTP. So I'm always extra excited to be here. The WRTP, or the Wisconsin Regional Training Partnership and Base Staff, our organization is created by labor for labor. So we work with employers and unions around upgrading the skills of their current workers, finding and preparing new workers, or looking at new ways to help modernize facilities with our partners. Last year, we helped place 621 new workers in jobs paying an average of $18.59 an hour. Really, I think for the first time, workforce, when they say we can't find qualified workers, we really, really mean it. It's not just specific skills, but the wages have to be higher, the skills have to be defined better. If we want to keep going, we really do need to help figure out how do we help find and prepare new workers, and how do we upgrade the skills of our current workers. I'm sure a lot of your shops have a lot of people that are going to retire. You know, I always say I'm 5 minutes away from retirement. If somebody ticks you off, you're going to have, that's it, I'm retired. Well, somebody cannot learn your job in 5 minutes. So there's a lot of transition and training that has to happen in ways that it never used to have to happen that way. People learn different. Some people learn better on computers. Some people learn better in a classroom. Some people learn better standing at a machine or on a line. There's a lot of different ways to transfer knowledge and a lot of different people that learn different. Something that was said earlier about training, and I remember when I was first elected, the first thing I got on the shop committee, and I went to the union president, and I said, well, now I'm elected, what do I need to learn? How do I learn? Read the contract book, big burly guy, And so I'm like, well, I did read the contract book. Well, read it again. There really wasn't training for newly elected machinist people, and there wasn't a lot of steward training. So, that's really, really exciting that there is an emphasis on training our union leadership. But it's also on training our members on what they need to know on their job. And as Steve Punter said, Wisconsin's one of the pioneer, early states in the best workers' comp. We're also one of the earliest that developed apprenticeship programs. Apprenticeship programs where you earn and you learn and your wages are attached to that earning and learning. It's been over 100 years. There's a journey card associated with it. Well, now our state has piloted a brand new apprenticeship program that's 18 months long that has a variety of different ways of training delivery methods, has the same registered with the state where you get great, gradual wage increases, and it's geared more towards production workers. So I would say when they say, well, what kind of workers is it geared for? It's geared for anybody that's not in the skilled trades. It's a stepping stone to the skilled trades. In fact, one of the machinist companies in Michigan, they have pattern worker apprentices, which is about a 6-year program. They put in 14 apprentices into this IMT, the Industrial Manufacturing Technician, and then after they get through their 18 months, the top 4 go to pattern makers, and they don't have to repeat the 18 months. It's an hour-for-hour match on the skilled trades apprenticeship program. So of those 14 people, 10 will be Journey IMT, and well, all 14 will be Journey IMT, but 4 actually get to advance without having to go through all the same trainings that they would have had they started just in the pattern maker apprenticeship. How it was designed, and it was designed by folks, just like you, the machinists, the auto workers, the steel workers. They came together with their employers and said, what's common around all of our shops? They tapped into some national skills where people can learn online or on the computer in a more of a self-paced way. And it offers credentials that are transferable either at a technical college or in the apprenticeship, or just if you happen to lose your job, you actually can walk somewhere and say, I have a Journey card, which also helps you at negotiating time when you have to ask for better wages. You have more workers with Journey cards. But the number one issue for employers was we can't afford to slow down production. I need them on the line. I need them on the machines. So what they did is really designed it so that an employer could have class size. They could take on 12 or 15 apprentices. all the training, whether that's the related instruction in the classroom, or whether that's on the job, or whether that's on a computer, can be done on site. So we work with the employer and the union to make sure whether that's a technical college instructor will come and do the training when it makes the most sense for you, and so that it's not losing the 1 day a week traditional apprenticeship training programs are doing. I talked to an employer the other day, and she's like, all of a sudden, we had a labor management meeting at our place. We had about 20 different employers and unions there, and all of a sudden, she's like, oh, I want to do that. And we're like, well, you've heard about this forever. You know, like, why is something different now? She says, Rhandi, whenever I heard the name apprenticeship, all I thought about is 1 day a week off the floor. And she says, I didn't listen past that to know you guys really designed something that is so flexible that it really meets the needs of the workers, of the union, and of the employer and their needs. So, you know, it's kind of a new thing, or it's very much a new thing. The last time I was here in September, I said we had a grant paying for that related instruction, and that's gone. But we are now part of the lead of a new grant with the National AFL-CIO in 8 different states that are now taking our pilot apprenticeship and replicating it around the country in those states. So how our model works is we don't market this to employers, we only market it to the unions. We meet with their business agents, we do needs assessments every couple of years. They basically identify who in their shops or which shops might this be a good fit for and bring us in when it makes sense. So it's just you guys that decide, and the same with the other states. We're really only marketing this to union firms, although sometimes we're forced to work with non-union firms because, you know, that is the way it goes. But Joe just handed out a little brochure that you can take with you or read or, you know, show your employers. If there's any talk of worker education, you know, you can do a lot of different things on worker education and training, but attaching them to wages and attaching them to skill standards is really kind of a good thing. Another thing I think you might have handed out, which you may or may not know about, is Triada, which is a unionized staffing agency that we started because too many of our employers were using staffing firms. Sometimes it was just to bring on a couple retirees for a few weeks and not screw up their pension. Sometimes it was fluctuation demand, like, uh-oh, we have some rework we got to do, or, you know, a rush time. Or sometimes it's just that probationary period, that before they start, you want to kind of try them out. We have signed a collective bargaining agreement for the next 10 years with the Machinists Union, and all the wages are based on what the whole shop can get. So it's really just a pass-through. We're not looking to make money, we're just looking to help unionized workers become unionized workers. So you can come from probationary employee with a Triada, and then you can go into the shop, into your own local. So all those members, you know, that you don't have now, can be union members. We do this in non-union firms. You can have unionized workers in non-union firms if it's the union who brings us in. So we do have collective bargaining agreements with the steel workers and the auto workers and the IBW and sheet metal and some of the other trades, that glaciers that are utilizing workers in either a short-term, seasonal, or temporary type way. And we want you to know there's one friendly one out there that probably could meet or beat any price that anybody else can give because the nonprofit does all the recruiting. We have actually hold recruitment events at union halls. The union leaders are part of helping to decide and promote the jobs that are in the shop and the wages that they pay. So it's very much friendly, I guess you would say, if there is such a friendly thing, because the goal is to try to help them become full-time permanent workers. So I think we're the only agency I know that does not charge the employer a finder's fee. And employers pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to different temp agencies to find workers to come and work there, and they charge them that, and we waive that. So there is no fee, so that really usually makes us a lot more cost-effective to an employer. The other benefit to using a unionized staffing company is, let's say you do go on strike, those workers aren't crossing. In other cases, they use temp workers, they want them to cross the line, go in the plant, now they know what they're doing. In our case, you're basically, you have a much easier time of not being replaced, you know, should something like that happen. think that's all. One more thing, I guess, there's little cards too, I don't know if you showed up, you can like our Facebook page or get on our Twitter stuff or whatever, because we do recruit for union jobs and union shops. So a lot of times, or most of the time, we have family friend referrals that help us direct people from one union to another. So we work with our partners, the LETC and the Hire Center, when they're helping a company that's downsizing. A lot of times we can come in early and help connect to a shop, even if it's not. So, any questions? Thank you very much.